Oh yeah, that's a lot better. Just whipped up that little shelf there. Only took a minute and 36 seconds. But I got it together. Repurposed that entire area. Got rid of the clutter. Oh yeah. I think that's going to work out a whole lot better. The whole idea was that if I made any drawings, I'd have room. And as it was, just sucked. Been meaning to do it for months and months and months and months and months. Yeah. Oh well. On to the next project. For some unknown reason, the stock GM caliber stopped working. Not good. I wonder why it pulled. I think I found out why. And if you're going to do a neutral safety switch deal and you got a wire, you got to run that wire to the S terminal on the GM starter. The S terminal on the GM starter is on the inside against the block when it's in the vehicle. And as you can see, you got to take the exhaust off. But before you do anything, you've got to disconnect the battery, because you can short stuff and not good. So disconnect your battery first and then go for it. And if any shims fall out between the block and the starter, make sure they go back in. This particular one, sometimes Chevys are straight across with the bolts. These are on a 45-degree angle. So the outboard one is ahead and the inboard one is towards the tranny. So the shim is, there's not a complete hole for the inboard side. You can just slide it in and get it to where it goes, and then just put the outboard bolt through the shim on the outside, and that's a complete hole. So it allows you, so you don't have that starter, I'm telling you what, it's heavy. And at the first, it's not too heavy. But when you're trying to get it lined up, and you do it 2 or 3 times, putting it in and out, by the time the 3rd or 4th time comes, your arms are getting pretty tired. And you just can't deal with it after a while. It's like trying to deal with a 50-pound weight and carry it for like 20 or 30 minutes. It gets hairy after a while, but eventually you get it. And on this particular one, I got the S terminal, that's all taken care of, and I just got to put my shims in. And there's a wire that runs from the instrument harness, from the forward harness, that's already there. And the question is, well, if you had left it there and connected them both, one to the neutral safety switch in the car that came stock and one to the neutral safety switch on the shifter, it's not going to work. It has to be one or the other. It has to be the one at the shifter. So you've got to get that wire and close it off so no electricity can leak from it, and like that. But out of all the things to do in a day, I can't think of a better thing to do than to get ready to install a neutral safety switch on a GM. It's just well, it's not that good, but it's pretty good. I've enjoyed it, and can't wait to get it running. Now I seem to be having a problem here. I can't seem to get there from here. So I'm trying to, maybe it's that wire. No, maybe it's that connection. Yeah, I don't know. Well, what's happening? I try to put a relay in here for the neutral safety switch and all. And when I hit the switch, all it does is turn the starter on. So effectively, all I've done is, by putting a switch in there and energizing the relay, all I've really done is made a starter switch out of it. So maybe it's that green wire. Oh, I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board. I've wired it 6 or 7 different ways, and it keeps coming out the same way. When you activate the switch, it turns the starter on. And I guess that's what it's supposed to do. So, back to the drawing board. Maybe it's that wire. Maybe that blue one right there. No. I'll have to get my schematics out. See what I got going. Okay, I got all the extra wiring that wasn't needed cut out. And I said in an earlier video that I didn't expect a problem with the neutral safety switch, and that right there is exactly when you have a problem, when you say you won't. The problem is, oh, and then we got a storm brewing. Just like on the test panel, although it's a little different in this way, the test panel supplied power to the S terminal on the solenoid regardless of the relay being energized or not. In this vehicle, when you turn the relay on, it cranks the motor. And I wanted to have a lighted toggle switch there, so at night when I was driving, I would both have an indicator and a reminder to turn the relay off so it wouldn't drain the battery. Well, I couldn't use that toggle lighted switch, so I found another indicator light, a very small one, and I used that instead. And I can't run the wires. I think I'm going to have to go in there and just tap into the factory harness if this doesn't work, if I can't get this to work the way I want it to. Just go into the neutral safety switch and grab the wires and lead them down to the backup switch and the neutral safety switch, because on the factory stuff, it's right there. Both of them are right there on the steering column in that little switch. It's kind of like shaped like a half U. And I've got an extra panel on this vehicle. It's got 8 terminals on it for positive, and I've tapped them out. I've got like 8 gauges on this thing, and it just goes on and on and on. And another thing I said in an earlier video was that the hole for the micro switches were misaligned. That is also not true. I got ready to drill my holes, and I noticed they were lined up. I was in the wrong gear, because I got all the console and everything, shifter plates off, as I can't tell what gear I'm in. So I come to think of it, I was in the wrong gear. It was my mistake. But I have never had a problem with a B&M shifter, ever. That has to be said. And they make good products. And I was kind of surprised, but I just lined everything up wrong. And when I put together, it was aligned, so I was happy to see that. Now I got this other problem, but oh yeah, incidentally, when you get your micro switches aligned properly and tightened, add some Loctite just past the nuts, because it would be an absolute BI zitch to have them come loose, malfunction, and you have to go back in there and take it all apart again. So try to make it one and done. What? Oh no, I changed my algorithms, and it takes like a couple weeks for it to pick up YouTube. Yeah. Anyway, I was wondering if there was a draw because the relay would be, you know, powered all the time. And I've come to a conclusion that 1 amp draw will pull a car battery down in about 18 hours. So I got to get in there and do a parasitic battery draw. But I can't get there from here until I get this situated. So yeah, lots of fun. That's why I love wiring. It's always the same. There's always a problem. You always have to figure out the problem. And sometimes it's endless. You've got tons of wires, so there's multiple variables all interacting with each other. Yeah, I kind of enjoy it. It's tough, and you got to multitask, and you got to figure it out. And if I had my druthers right now, all I've done is created a starting switch. When I energize the relay, it cranks the motor. So I could just take the switch out and put a starter switch in there. Turn the original key to the on position, and then just hit the switch. It's a momentary switch, right? So when it's not depressed, everything's fine. Then I hit it, the car's going to crank. When I let it go, it's going to stop cranking, and it'll run because it's on the, well, that's my plan anyway. So that's somewhere I got to go. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get there, but I think I am going to be able to, and we'll just have to do it like that. Well, no, that wasn't the problem. I found out later, what the problem was, and the woman was just weird. I had a divorce, but she had some strange notions and some strange thoughts. And one of them was, that I found out later from the attorney after it was all said and done, was that she thought that she was going to be the only one to use her toothbrush. Have you ever heard of anything so ridiculous in all your life? I mean, what about all for one and one for all? So it was a good thing that it happened anyway.